Anyway, hi, my name is Lindsay. I am the owner and founder of Misheard Media, a media and live events company that empowers and encourages girls to be smart, savvy, and global through our community blog and our live events. Thank you again for tuning in to the weekly 3 p.m. video. Today, I want to talk about something I was thinking about a little bit earlier today, which is when to say no and when to say yes. And saying no is a thing that we talked about at our How to 101 Life Skills event last week. And it's important, it's a good skill, I think, to practice saying no. And no is a full sentence. If someone asks you to do something that makes you uncomfortable, no. No is the answer. You don't need to elaborate any further. But perhaps you're in a situation maybe where a friend is asking you to do something that you don't want to do. Maybe like skip class. One of the things we practiced at How to 101 was kind of diffusing the situation with humor and offering an alternative. So if your friend asks you to skip class, you could say, you know what? No, I'm sorry. My butt is literally glued to this seat now, so I can't skip class with you. Maybe we can hang out later. And that's a very polite way of saying no that doesn't make you look like a total square, I guess. That's a way of saying no that's polite. You're offering an alternative. And that's a good way to practice. You can also say like, no, I can't skip class with you. I would get in so much trouble. I need to bring my grade up in this class. This is my favorite class and I don't want to skip it, but maybe we can hang out later. So you always have the right to say no when someone is asking you to do something that you don't want to do, that makes you uncomfortable, that would get you into trouble, etc. And this week in particular, I was thinking about saying no when we feel overwhelmed and overbooked. And, I work with teen girls and I meet a lot of teen girls who are so busy. Like you all have so much going on. There's school, there's friends, there's sports and music lessons and student government and volunteering and, like being on community boards and in community groups and homework and SAT prep. And it is so much. And I also want to tell you, that it's okay to say no because you need to protect your energy and protect your heart kind of and protect your space. So this week for me in particular was really busy. We had a lot of house guests here and, I had 2 events for Misheard Media and I have a volunteer orientation this weekend and I have normal Misheard Media things to do and I have to run errands and it's a friend's birthday and, I was asked to do something by a friend to go out for dinner or something and I was like, you know what? I just can't. I'm sorry. I love you. I can't. I'm staying in this week. I'm staying in tonight. So, and I think sometimes, especially when we're younger or we're not as secure in our relationships, it makes us feel insecure and makes us worry that the person is not going to like us anymore. And that's not necessarily true. A true friend will understand, that you're not always going to be available to do things and that's okay. So if you're feeling super overwhelmed and you can't bear the thought of doing another project or committing to more volunteer hours or one more study group or whatever it is totally okay to say no. On the flip side, because I'm introverted, I was also thinking about this, and maybe my other fellow introverts out there will get it. Maybe my extroverts out there are going to be like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't understand this feeling. Sometimes we have to say yes to new experiences, even if they might seem a little intimidating. And I don't mean experiences that are bad or harmful. I'm not saying you should go out and shoplift or try drugs or anything like that. Definitely don't do that. What I mean is that sometimes we're invited to things like a class or a party or an event or a conference or some opportunity comes up and we're nervous. We think, oh, I don't want to go to this party. I'm not really going to know anyone. It's not going to be any fun. Or I don't want to go to this class because I might not be good at whatever the class is teaching. And this attitude can really hold us back a lot. And, this month our theme is growth. And sometimes just saying no to new things offhand kind of stifles our growth. So if you're going to a party or an event and you're like, oh my gosh, I might not know anyone, I don't want to go, I'm just going to stay home. Instead, why not tell yourself, like, I'm going to go for 20 minutes and then I can leave. And chances are by the time you get there and you start talking to people and meeting people or listening to the speaker or whatever, what have you, you'll actually stay for a lot longer than 20 minutes. And you never know in these types of situations who you might meet. And someone who's speaking or someone who's attending the event might just be the very person that can help you with a problem that you're having, or that can introduce you to someone that you would really like to know, or they could have a job for you. Like you just never know. And so sometimes it's really worth it to put yourself out there. And I know my extroverts are watching this and they're like, what are you talking about? I would never feel that way. Well, you know what? That's fine. If you're always down for an event or something new, that's great. More power to you. That's just not really how I operate. So sometimes I have to tell myself, it's okay, just go to the event, just go for 20 minutes, or like introduce yourself to 3 new people. And once you meet 3 new people, you can leave. You can always give yourself an out for things like that. The things that you should say yes to, but you kind of don't want to. Or another example is like you're worried about looking silly in front of other people. Like, I really want to try this dance class, or I really want to go to this writing workshop, but like, what if I'm not good at it? Okay, that's why you're at the class and the workshop, right? Is to practice. So, don't worry about being good or being the best. Chances are like everybody is paying attention to themselves and they're not even worried about what you're doing. And that kind of knowing that can kind of take the pressure off. And it's the same thing, right? If you go and you hate it and it's just absolutely every minute is agonizing, you can just leave. Isn't that thought so freeing? You can just leave. I've taken classes, pottery classes, yoga classes, aerial yoga classes, painting classes, writing workshops, where I was convinced I was going to be like the worst person in the room, or that what I was doing was going to be really strange or kind of scary. And it wasn't. And it turned out fine. And they turned out actually to be really great experiences that I enjoyed. And if I had just said no offhand because I was scared or intimidated, I would have missed out on a really great opportunity. And did anything come of it? No, I'm not a pottery master. I'm not, I'm not a world-renowned author. I'm not a whatever. But it was a really good experience, and doing it made me very happy. And that to me is worth the, temporary discomfort of feeling like, oh my gosh, everyone's looking at me and maybe I'm not the best at this. So it's just something to think about. Just, remember that you can always say no to things, right? Anything that makes you uncomfortable, you can say no to. Anything you feel like you don't need to do or that stresses you out, anything that, puts pressure on your heart and your spirit, you can say no to. And you can do it in a way that's polite and funny, and that, people won't be mad at you for saying no. Sometimes we have to say yes to things like new experiences and new opportunities, even if they may intimidate us a little bit. So that's what I have for you today. That was something I'd been kind of thinking about all day, because of some stuff that's going on here. So yeah, I've started I'm going to do volunteer orientation on Saturday for our local humane society, because I love dogs and we can't really have a dog right now because my cat is really sick and it's just not fair. So I'm going to volunteer to go love on some dogs. And it is, like, I'm an introvert. So anytime you want to put me in a room with like a bunch of strangers and I have to talk to them, it kind of makes me nervous. But if I get to play with dogs every week, it's going to be so worth it, right? So it's really worth it to take that little tiny leap that makes me uncomfortable to get this great reward, which is playing with dogs, which I love. Yeah, so no immediate upcoming events to tell you all about. This summer, though, we're offering 3 Create, Make, Lead summer camps for girls at Cathay Future Center. You can go look up Cathay Future Center in Rockville, Maryland, and see that there are 3 weeks of dates to choose from, which is really, really exciting. I'm so excited to do this camp 3 times this year. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. And also, just kind of as an aside, I am working with the fabulous Abby again to release the Misheard Media Girl Powered 2020 planner. And there's already so many cool new girls and women that I can't wait for you to meet. But also, if you have any suggestions for an American young woman under the age of 25 that has changed the face of our culture in some way, I would love to know about her and to include her in the planner so that other people can meet her as well. You can shoot me a DM. DMs are always open. Or you can email me, hello@misheardmedia.com. All right, so I'll be back next week. Same time, same place. I'll talk to you then. All right, bye.